Yeah. This is Stuck in the Middle podcast. I'm Uncle AK.
I'm Sir Hans.
Welcome to this faithful episode of the Stuck in the Middle podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Today in the building we have a very special guest. You know, we told you guys, it's all about Africa. We're trying to capture innovators all around the continent of Africa. We're not just focused on Cameroon. Today we have a photographer, a cinematographer, a man who is out to inspire other youths in Africa. He's from Rwanda, East Africa in the building. Yeah. Let's get a round of applause for that. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Because you look like you were still talking, so I was waiting for you to finish talking, man.
You're definitely the first. Definitely the first person who is not Cameroonian to be on the podcast. So welcome, Ganza.
I'm honored to be here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rwanda, man. East Africa. I feel like this it's east and west, so we never reach out to the east, and the east never reach out to the west.
It's a big continent. It's a big continent, but you get to learn about each country through, whether it's through the media or what you hear from friends. I used to have some friends from Cameroon, really close friends actually. So I got to learn a lot of things about the country. And
what you learned?
I mean, the rich culture, or the people, the people out there, and I can see, I did actually realize that we had a lot of things in common, as far as, how we are brought up in our homes and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always something similar.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Man, Ganza.
Yes, sir.
That's your real name, correct?
Yeah, boss. It is.
I mean, we have this thing we call ganja. It sounds like Ganza.
Yes.
You know what ganja is?
Ganja is?
I do. Very well.
You consume ganja?
Oh, I do.
Do people always misconstrue your name for something else? Always?
Especially out here in the States, so people have different ideas about who I am. And, when I tell them my name, immediately that's what clicks in their mind. But, but with time, you get used to it. But yeah, some people do.
That's dope. Yeah. Man, where to start? Music. Mm-hmm. You're an artist, right?
Yes, sir.
You also, man, please tell the people what it is that you do.
Absolutely. So I started off as a dancer in Rwanda. I was a dancer, and basically I fell in love with rhythm. That was my first love, and then years later I realized that I could get involved in different stages of art, whether it's drawing. My brother used to draw a lot, so I got into that too. So I constantly found myself in different areas. I always wanted to do something creative. Mm-hmm. I'm all about creativity, and I do it for the love. Yeah. That's where it started, and I started also shooting videos, and my father was the one who inspired me to do videos, and that is the part.
How so?
Sorry?
How so did your father?
How soon?
How so?
How do you
what was it like? Was he seeing what you was doing and he kept on encouraging you, or? No,
he used to buy equipment all the time. Even though he was a business guy, he really loved taking pictures. Okay. For him, it really started off as him being wanting to save some memories for the family, and he just found himself just buying equipment after equipment, and
which was good for you.
Yes, absolutely. As a kid, I was interested in that because there was always a camera somewhere, and he always told me, just grab a camera, and we started going to weddings, shooting stuff, and at that point I started really getting better at composing an image and all that stuff. So at a very young age I started operating cameras, understanding them, how they work, and how to be comfortable with the equipment, and with time I went on realizing that it didn't really matter what kind of equipment you had in your hand. It really came down to what you really wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
So my father really emphasized on that, really be careful. Be creative. Push yourself as far as possible. Really do something that nobody else has seen out there. And coming out here in America, back in Rwanda, all I did was really direct. I was one of a choreographer in one of the music videos of a friend who was a huge star.
So you dance?
Yeah, I dance.
Hey, this man got.
What kind of dancing were you doing?
I was doing all kinds.
Traditional.
So traditional, anything. It was traditional. I used to dance traditional. I would also do, back then we used to call it modern dancing, but really it all roots from traditional.
There is a video on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
It was a breaking lands concert.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, I used to know that one song you put out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of participated in a break competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We went. So what happened on that day, right? So I went there to attend the party, right? And getting there, there was this act who was on the stage before Brick and Lace got on stage.
Okay.
And this gentleman was from Kenya. His name was Red Sun. So Red Sun got on stage and he had his own dancers that came with him, his backup dancers. And once they were on stage, they were dancing. And what he said on stage was that Rwandans, you're good at, you turn up, I see you guys like to have a good time, but you really don't have dancers. And that's what he said on stage.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I turned around and the whole party, it was close to like 1,000, 2,000 people at that event. And they started screaming, Ganza, Ganza. I got hyped.
So you was known as the man.
I got on stage to rip them open. Like, I got on stage, I jumped on stage, and we started going back and forth with this dancer. And I could tell by the first second that he wasn't going to last. I knew I was going to kill him, and I did it that night. It's one of my proudest moments, actually.
And there's a video of it.
Yeah,
there's a video on YouTube.
I gotta see that.
So it was one of my proudest moments, absolutely.
So you mastered the rhythm of dancing, right?
Sorry?
You mastered the rhythm of dancing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in doing so, you managed to take first place back home.
Yes, sir.
So when you say master the rhythm, what does that mean?
So mastering rhythm, right? It started as I was really young. Everything, far as when it comes to art, I think my influence started when I was really young. At first, I started falling in love with Congolese music because that's where I was born. I was born in DRC.
Okay.
I was a refugee.
Man, there's a lot of mouths on it.
Wait, I want to pause like refugee. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
I don't want to skip over that.
Absolutely. We were born outside the country. We were considered at that time, they used to call us, I come from a family where we were considered Tutsis. So Tutsis was a tribe basically that was not allowed to be in the country at that time. So I was born in exile because of that. It was the conflict that was going on in Rwanda at that time, and there was racial tensions at that time. So that's why I was born in Congo.
As a child growing up, was that very apparent to you?
Not really, because my father always shielded us from that. He was a businessman, so he ensured that we had everything we needed. So we never really had the time to think about, the oppression that was happening to a certain group of people from Rwanda. But of course, you felt the pain because most of us wanted to go home, or my father wanted to take his whole family back home. Being in exile, there was a downside to it. The people in those actual countries, some of them didn't want us, because we were in there, we were taking over the businesses and all that good stuff, and people didn't quite like it. So really, most of the Tutsis wanted to go home at that time. They were Rwanda. Now we are considered all Rwandans, but at that time Tutsis were not allowed to be in the country, or anyone who was against the government, I must say.
It's kind of funny how things. That's kind of funny. I mean, it's kind of funny how things revolve around. That happened in Rwanda at that time, and right now our country is going through a similar phase where one section of a country is rejecting the other section, and it's just that conflict of interest between both territories.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not a good moment in time, but things do happen.
Absolutely.
I watched that movie with Don Cheadle, man. Another movie that's not portrayed a reality, but it must have been a real gruesome
Absolutely.
time.
It was a mess. I was lucky not to be a part of it, or even to witness it, because I was in exile when everything happened. But I did lose very close family members who were there at that time. The timing was terrible. It was chaos, and a lot of people lost their lives. We're talking about over 800,000 people. And it's still the heaviest thing on the country, especially during this times. Yesterday, I believe that's when we officially started to commemorate the 1994.
Like yesterday, like April 8th.
Yeah, April 8th, I believe. That's when we commemorated the genocide, and it's still a heavy thing in people's, because it's been only 23 years, I like to say. I might be wrong, but yes, it's still a scar that is gonna take a while to heal.
Yeah, because doing that's like the government acknowledging that's like the government acknowledging that happened.
Yes,
you know what I mean. But it's taking a long while for them to like.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't. As far as governments, really, you can never know who participated and who didn't, right? What really they are trying to sell is the fact that we have a bad guy and a good guy, but really we don't know. It goes as far as even having the United States involved in what happened there. So really, I'm not the type to just fall with what I'm told. I'd rather dig deeper and figure out exactly what caused 800,000 people to die. You know, that's really what it comes down to. You know, and we still haven't. I feel, of course, the reconciliation is currently working, but I think we haven't found closure yet, and I think that is going to take time. And it's just to give it time, because it's a scar that
it's deep.
You know, that's really deep.
The good thing is to say time heals all wounds. So you know, with time, I believe, you know, everybody will be able to work things out. You know, there's going to be that unity that you know, the Rwandan people want to have and see. And the same goes to every other territory around the world that's currently in conflict. You know, time heals everything. You know, with time, people, you know, those people who are influencing this disaster to happen, eventually they're going to, you know, get out of the picture, and then the good people going to come in and try to restructure and rebuild and all that stuff. But man, we can really see that this thing is, you know, it's really something that's heavy in your heart, and it's something that's heavy in everyone's person's heart, because you know, I mean, we got East African friends too, and it's one of the most difficult topics to touch. And for us too, I could say it's one of the most difficult topics for us to touch too, especially the things that's going on back home for us too. So with that said, I say let's put that topic aside.
Let's put
that topic aside and get back to, you know, the real reason why you're here. You know,
positive energy.
Positive vibes.
Let's go back a little bit to Six City Entertainment. That's your very first gig, you know, where you know, you got your growth and all whatnot. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So Six City Entertainment it started off as a group of dancers, and we came together as dancers to bring a different flavor into it. You know, there was a lot of dance groups back in Rwanda at that time, and we were young at that time, and we started this group purposely to just be better than everybody in the country. I started the group with my friend. His name is Cedric. We both started the crew. We recruited only the best, right? And we adapted to, you know, we didn't treat dance as an escape. It was more of like something we did, and we did it to really compensate on the fact that we were being pressured to be a certain way, and we were really just trying to, you know, show the Rwandan youth that dancing wasn't something that necessarily involved drugs, right? So the youth usually back then would go to dance so that they can have access to alcohol, to drugs and all that stuff. Us, we went to dance to be better every day, and we could rehearse a choreography about 10 times before we went home, and we would be sweating, tired, exhausted. And everybody was into it. We were young at that time. We were so passionate about the art form of dance. And secondly, we wanted to be the best. And that's how the crew Six City started, and it started growing. It became a household name after we won. Like, we were beating everyone in battles. We would organize battles, or people would organize battles and invite Six City, and we would go in there to rip them open. Really, we were going in there to leave no prisoners. We were not taking any prisoners, and it started off like that. And all of a sudden, we were being booked for bigger gigs, not necessarily for battles, but people would actually book us to come be the first to open up the stage. That's what they call it, like raise the curtain and all that stuff. So we would go in there, dance, and get paid, go home. So at first, it started as something we were passionate about, and eventually, it was feeding all the members or the crew.
How many people were in the crew?
We were close to 40.
Oh.
Yeah, we were close to 40.
How do you manage a group that?
And all of y'all was able to eat from that?
Oh yes, all of us, absolutely. Once,
all men?
Really, all men, and there was girls too. We had a few girls. We had like 6 girls in the crew. So it was mostly guys, and really how we worked with them was we had to make schedules as to what time this crew is going to practice. We had b-boys, so b-boys would not show up at the time that we are practicing unless we have something that we're going to be combining on the stage. But the only way to control that, we would have rehearsals at different times. So I would but I was always present. It didn't matter which crew was dancing. I would always be present
because you were at the top.
I was the choreographer.
Okay.
I used to choreograph and give my comments as to what they had going on at that time before we even take any gigs in. And I was the guy to look for gigs. I always was around to look for what was the next thing we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we were kids. We didn't require a lot of money. I mean, coming here in America, if you have 40 people, you better be paying them well.
Yeah.
Back in Rwanda, all they needed it was transportation, and they are young. Really, what they're looking for is
the opportunity.
Spotlight.
Yes, spotlight to shine.
It's really that. And once you give them lunch and you give them transportation to be able to get where they need to be, and on top of that, they needed something outside their regular lives. And they had this thing that was great, right? It was being talked about throughout the country, this crew called Six City. We weren't all necessarily rich kids, but the way we presented ourselves, they would assume we're just rich kids who come from suburbs or something like that. But we had all kinds of people who don't even have parents. So we had all kinds of people who joined the crew. But the way we presented ourselves was something that set us apart from everyone else, because we were organized. Secondly, we were humble. It was always the thing, get on the stage, do your thing, go. So don't get in anyone's face, because a lot of egos would be thrown around, especially when you're facing other crews. So that's where Six City came from. It grew, and then I hosted and then we went into event planning. But I was doing that. I was doing all that mostly. So we got into event planning.
Were you a student during this time?
Yes, I was. I was a student.
And what were you studying at that time?
I was pursuing arts, which was history, geography, and that's what they considered it in secondary school. Yeah, S3 is what I was pursuing. Arts. It was mostly history, geography, and economics, and that was it. But I don't even remember anything about those classes. I was more focused about creating, man.
Probably was just going because your people was like, yo, go to school,
go to school. I don't remember much about that. So we got into event planning, and my first event was after I graduated out of high school. So what So I got the idea off of American Pie and all these high school movies.
Yeah,
like,
High School Musical.
after you're done with high school, you want to celebrate that. But secondly, I wanted to give it a reason why we needed to celebrate. Now, prior to that, they had stopped parties from happening back home because one, they were loud. It was too much loud. It was basically disturbing the peace.
Disturbing the peace, yeah.
Yeah. So events. There was one event I went in. It was a high school graduation party, and we got locked up.
Oh.
Yeah. We got locked up like at 8 a.m. Good thing I wasn't drinking alcohol then, because I would be pissed. So we sat there at 8, and the sun is, straight in your eyes, and they took us to prison. We went there. They literally had us sitting in jail, and
For how long?
For close. So they locked us up at 8 a.m. and we got out at 6 p.m. that same day, and it was based on the fact that they started creating stories that there was porn happening, that people were shooting porn in the house and shit like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, but really that's where it started. And so my idea was, you need to give us a break, right? You need to give people who are graduating, because these things, like, you know how high school is back home, right? It's not an easy thing,
Very stressful.
Yeah.
It's really stressful. And really what I started with was to first communicate to the Minister of Youth.
Yo,
He was a friend.
So you had you had connects like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. I mean, being a dancer alone and you got your name out there already, you're going to know some people. I mean, I wasn't a sensational. It wasn't that. It was just being respected for what I do. It really came down to that. And how I communicated with people was, in a sense, I just want to make sure when I need you sometime, you're going to be there for me. And it has always been like that. But secondly, I knew the children, or the actual Minister of Youth at that time. I knew the children, and I went through them to be able to reach them. So I reached him, and I sent him a letter, the official letter, just telling him we're trying to organize a high school party, and we feel students should celebrate this step. And it's something that that I believe the Ministry of Youth wants to get involved. Initially, what I had in mind was something bigger, was something where the ministry would get involved, but they didn't get involved. They didn't want to get involved at all.
But did they approve?
They didn't approve either. So they didn't even respond to the letter. I didn't even go into that. I just immediately switched gears, and I just knew, okay, I'm going to do this myself. My father backed me. My father financially backed me. He was like, I understand this idea. My father has always been my best friend. He's the guy who understands me when everybody doesn't. And he was like,
Is he here with you?
yes, he lives in Alexandria. But I live like 10 minutes away from him.
Yeah.
So he financially supported me to be able to make this event happen. And secondly, the actual students who wanted this event to happen started to put in money. So I already had the budget covered before even the students actually were able to put in money.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we put it everywhere. It was everywhere, from the billboards. We put it everywhere. We made sure you knew this is what was happening, and we were celebrating. And what we called the event was it was called Adios High School Party, and we made the flyer. I was the guy on the flyer, because I started competing with someone else who wanted to take the idea.
Oh.
So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get on the flyer. And I got on the flyer with a suit on and pointing the finger. And that's how we started. And Six City now was actually hosting events. And then we went from there. That's the story of Six City. And now I left the country, and there's another generation of Six City currently growing.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah,
So it's still currently in motion.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
And they're still the best.
Okay.
Had to throw that out there real quick.
So you had Six City, right?
Yes, sir.
And then on top of that, you also had a hosting job at a local radio station.
Yes.
What was the name of the station?
It's Contact FM.
And you interviewed big African
Yes,
artists
artists.
too. Could you name a couple?
I interviewed a Ugandan artist. It was Michael Ross. I also interviewed.
Shout out to Michael Ross.
Yeah, and I also interviewed what's her name? There was the Blue Three. Blue Three. There were sensational three beautiful singers from Uganda, and also I did interview P Square.
Oh,
yeah. So that is what I had on my belt, and of course, what my show was about at Contact FM. We confronted everything about the social fabric back home, as far as why are you being against your child because they're pursuing a certain goal that you don't approve
Speak
of?
on it.
Why? What's the point? And we were the only radio station doing that. I mean, we are the only show really doing that. We didn't care, and on top of that, we had the boss who had the connections, who allowed us to do whatever we wanted to do, and the show was about that. And we also covered about beef between artists, because we wanted some activity in the industry, in the music industry. It was lacking. I mean, how many Rwandan artists have you heard of? It's really a few. They're not out there, and it's one of the things I regret. We wanted to create a kind of competition that constantly put these artists in the limelight. People thought we were just trying to create drama, but really we're just trying to bring about attention to these artists who are doing a great job. And when they beefed on records and they started dissing each other, I was DJ drama. I would come in and just make it bigger than it is.
Yeah, was the radio show, was it like a daily or like?
Yeah, it was daily. So we would be on the show from like 3, and it was an hour, 3 to 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday?
It was Monday to Friday. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's dope that you guys were like, covering that social, saying like parents not approving of what their kids are doing, because that's what this podcast is about, like being stuck in the middle in that essence, like your parents is like, either be engineer, doctor, or lawyer, so people are like, I want to rap. I want to,
but for somebody like you already had that back and so little,
Absolutely.
So you didn't have like a fence in your vision.
Yes.
Your vision was like an open sea.
Absolutely.
Where you was exploring everything.
Yes, sir.
You had your father's back, and that's really, really dope.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yes.
Like hearing everything that you've gotten into, I'm like,
I know.
Like this guy.
Yeah, I got my parents to thank. They have always been open individuals. My father came from nothing and made something out of himself.
Yeah.
He's the man I look up to myself. He came from poverty, like really real poverty. When we're talking about living in a place called Gashirabgoba and coming from there.
Say that again?
Gashirabgoba.
Is that one name
village.
or
that's one name?
What's the translation of that?
Gashirabgoba in English, I would say fearless.
Fearless.
Yeah, that was an actual village. That was the name of the village.
Your name Ganza means conqueror.
Yeah,
got shit up, go to bar, means fearless. Y'all like that?
I know, right? Yeah. So my father came from that and was able to own 3 hotels, back in Rwanda. And at that point, really, the man is open-minded. Like, there is nothing you can tell him. He wasn't the type
Shout out to you, Pops.
Absolutely. Shout out to my father, the best guy. Actually, he's listening to us as we speak.
Oh, word. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Poppy!
Great man.
Man, that's great. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's a beautiful story, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? For you guys to have that kind of relationship, man.
Yes, sir.
Not too many of us, we get that tough love type of,
man. Because I'm an artist, like I rap, it's not a hobby. Like you see all that stuff, that's money right now, I need that family support. It was struggling, get like family, like, yo, what are you doing? You want to rap, like,
absolutely. I hear
that's dope, man. That's
dope. I know. I mean, the thing really the thing I really think of, right? I think it comes down to even the leadership of a certain country, and I realized that if leaders are dictators, chances are it's going to be the same in a household. You won't want to listen to your children if you're being led by someone who doesn't want to listen to your concerns. And if you live under that, chances are, like Martin Luther said, injustice somewhere is a threat to justice anywhere, right? And really it applies to even your own household. But my father never allowed anything to happen in the house. He never allowed what was outside to influence what's going to happen in the house. He didn't care who was the kid of this one was the first, so why aren't you doing exactly like that kid? No, he treated everyone as an individual.
Man, that's like a stark West Africa, East Africa difference.
Yeah.
How many siblings you got?
I got 8.
You got 8 siblings?
Yeah, 8 siblings.
And you're a father of 2 too?
Yeah. I'm a father of 2. Yeah.
What are their names?
Makaila and Ganza.
Shout out to Makaila and Ganza.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I mean,
Is it hard?
Hard?
Yeah.
It's
Fatherhood.
It's an experience you have to just live to understand. Everyone has their own way of experiencing it.
Yeah.
I might say the first days I thought it was hard, but really it's perception. It's what you heard outside. But once you love them, everything else just falls.
Yeah, and I'm sure the teachings you got from your pops, that's what you're using to implement.
Oh, absolutely. And I still think I'm learning, so I don't treat my children as objects. I treat them as individuals, even if they are young.
How old are they?
My daughter is turning 4, and my son is turning 2 in May.
So
yeah,
that's really nice, man.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we all hope we're gonna get this someday.
Oh, absolutely. Take your time.
Take your time. No hard.
Take your time.
So you do film, right?
Yes,
you do film,
yes, sir.
Documentaries,
yes, sir.
Music.
Mostly, I've done documentaries, music videos, and now I'm just trying to get into short films.
Short films.
Probably soap operas, stuff like that. Yeah.
So what was the transition? What was the thing that you said and was like, you know what, I do film too, or I do.
I think it's all the same thing. You know, once I'm constantly asked that question, but really it comes down to if you have rhythm, everything else can fall in line. I feel, right? I started off as a dancer, so it's just being creative. It's being able to appeal to a certain audience. So when it comes to a camera, before I even get on a laptop to edit it, I'm just first. I go into the thought process of understanding what I really want to put out there. The biggest project I ever did that I'm really proud of as a cinematographer was working with one of the biggest artists in Africa. His name is Hip Hop Ansula. He's based in South Africa, and he's quite big there.
Say that name again.
Hip Hop Ansula. It's a double HP. He's a hip hop artist, actually. So really the creative process is all about just ensuring that we are like being creative is what really allows me to be able to switch and do whatever I want. And that's what has been my motivation, to be able to jump to one thing to another. I'll get in the booth and spit a good 16, and I'll go around and probably shoot a great photography, and the next day I'll probably do a great movie. So it doesn't really matter. Everything is just the creative process. It really comes down to that. I just allow myself to be inspired by life. I could be inspired by this sitting here, and I just let it flow. And that's where it comes from. I don't think there is any difference between anything I do, because everything has a. Once you look at a video I've directed or something I've done, you'll see Ganza. You'll feel it somewhere, and it has always been the case.
I love the
uniqueness. Where can people find your videos, by the way?
My videos are mostly on So Africa on YouTube. You can just put it on there, and you're gonna find most of the videos on there.
So almost all the videos on So Africa, you shot them.
Everything.
Those are really clear videos.
Oh, thank you.
Those are really clear videos. Yeah, I really love the whole the clarity of it.
I appreciate
the music and all that stuff. Like,
I appreciate
it's really good.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. Yeah, I've shot everything that is on that page.
So in terms of money, right? What is the average price to shoot, say, a 3 to 4 minute video?
Well, it depends on who you are. So for me to even jump on a project or with someone, it really comes down to what you're presenting and really what we're working on. If I'm not passionate about it, chances are it's not gonna work. I have to be. We have to meet somewhere. Somewhere we have to meet.
So in other words, money does not influence you.
Never. Sometimes I'll do a project for free.
Is it like you do different genres, hip hop, Afrobeat?
Hip hop, anything, as long as it's a catchy tune and I feel it, I'm immediately down to work.
Man, I'm about to play you a couple music videos. Let's see how we can work around this.
Absolutely.
Because the couple videos, our boy Reflex right here, I mean, he's an artist too. So there's so many tracks that we've been telling him to shoot a video and. To say we don't know what's holding him back. Only the man knows his vision. So
absolutely,
he's so passionate that like it's hard for him. It's like a little baby. He doesn't want to see the shot ball.
I know. I know how that feels.
And shout out to all artists listening, man. Like y'all can't say we ain't giving y'all the platform. The man said, if you feel it, he'll shoot it. So
absolutely.
And definitely, let's just take this time out to really, thank you to, for making that long drive from VA.
Oh, absolutely.
At this drastic time of the day, the day when everybody's coming back from a little short holiday and the roads are just stacked with traffic.
I know. Absolutely. It was all worth it. All worth it.
Your music.
Yes.
And he does music too?
Yes,
he does music. He does, so far I've seen rap. So, how do you categorize yourself in terms of music? Like, what's your genre?
I don't have a I was influenced by a lot of artists, people like Lucky Dube, artists like Lucky Dube. I used to listen to a lot of Big Punisher. So my style when I come to a track.
Big Punisher, by the way, is Big Pun.
So I was influenced by all kinds of artists, really, from Bob Marley.
Shout out Bob, man.
Yeah, man, the best to ever do it. And when I come to a track, it really comes down to that. I don't think I let the people do the judge what I'm doing, but really I approach music as a music lover, and I just pour my heart out. I feel I got something to say and I got a story to tell, and I just pour myself out and let the audience, whoever is listening to me, do their thing and judge me and tell me where exactly can you box me in. But I would suggest you don't box me, because I'm gonna constantly change on you. I'm gonna switch up on you and do something else.
Yeah.
So it's anywhere. You could either bring it as a battle. I'm gonna battle you. I got some high 16s on me.
We got how to hear one for you.
So it's whoever wants it. We could go anywhere really. But with this Afro pop thing that is taking over the world, I love that too, and I see myself doing something like that soon. But at the moment, I'm just focused on. I'm focused on just really
vibing and creating.
Yeah.
Let's hear something, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Let's hear it. Or if not, you can think about it and then later on.
Man, this guy don't need to think about it, man. Off the top, I'm sure he got stuff stuck in there. Like,
you want a beat?
Yeah, sure.
Oh man,
you go ahead and make a beat. Man, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Look, here comes the brand new flavor in your air. Pay attention while I own this, ain't nothing fair. Suckers incompetence force the boat to go up here. Too much of the same nonsense. I think I'm rare. I sleepwalk towards greatness like I've been there. The only way to get in my way is if you lay there. I run over niggas, call it a hit and run. The probability of stepping in a cave is coming from something to none. Become of the sun, explode by none. A lucrative career guaranteed that you can learn some. They're not listening, they're probably paying attention. Like if it was ignored, but they welcome being mentioned. Listen, I ain't tripping, I'm on the mission. Actually, this is on your wishing list, but you don't protest this. Written on the illness extends your existence. You probably last a minute of going against just what your choice is.
Breathe, man, breathe. Okay.
Ganza.
Hey, Flex, you want to challenge that?
I just did the beat. My heart's still pounding. Give me a break.
Oh, man.
Give me a break.
When was the last time you actually recorded a track?
We are currently working on an EP with one of the other artists I really mess with. His name is. We're currently working on an EP with one of my very good friends. His name is Drew. Drew is a French rapper, and we're currently working on a big project, 5 tracks, and I think this is gonna be my last project musically if it doesn't blow, and that's how much energy I'm investing in it, because I'm involved in a lot of things that I don't necessarily see myself sticking with music. I want to be able to focus on other things. So we've been putting a lot of music out, couple of music, about 6 records so far, and the response is positive that we're getting. People do understand us, especially those who understand the lingo we come with when we're rapping or whatnot. And currently we're working on an EP that's gonna be released this coming summer. And you'll be the first people to hear it.
Most definitely. Can't wait. Peace Lounge.
Yes, sir.
That is lit.
Yeah, that thing looks lit. Yeah, man. Peace Lounge. Yeah, Peace Lounge. It's a lounge in DC.
Talk about it.
DC.
So Peace Lounge is a lounge back in DC. It's a hookah lounge, and I host events every Thursday there. All right, and what we're trying to create for the social Thursdays to have everyone come in and socialize and get to know each other. It's an exclusive place. It's really beautiful. It was recently renovated, so really once you get in, you're having the most amazing time. So I work there. Currently, I've been doing some DJing there, and the things are really looking nice, and we're getting a good crowd coming in there, and we're just trying to build from that. So Peace Lounge has been there for quite a while, though. Speaking to the owner, they probably had that place for over 5 years, and us coming in as Rwandans, we really just wanted to create a night where everyone can just come in, have a good time, socialize, network, and go home with some connections.
Exactly.
That's what really we're trying to start. And we're going to start also bringing in artists. We're trying to create a platform where artists can come in, and who knows, we could probably have this reflex.
That's like the new thing though, like some like lounges are having like like the Lake Key Lounge has like and like the Starfish Lounge.
I think we need to get back to that point where like we can have artists come showcase.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like have that live band type of sound. The same with what what I mean.
Absolutely.
The networking, whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
What better way to actually get connected with an artist, than actually see them live, perform the tracks and stuff.
That is the most perfect.
Because to me, I see talent as you actually recorded the track, right?
Yes.
And you could spit that track from the top of your head with just the beat.
Performing it.
You're not just whatever they call the thing.
Playback.
Yeah.
I mean,
and for the audience,
that's how we can vet who's an artist and who's not.
Very true.
So I mean, definitely this Thursday, man. This Thursday, if you're free, we should definitely make a presence down there.
You're most welcome. So we always have
better watch out for that text from me, man.
You're most welcome.
If you watching, come check the crew at Peace Lounge
Thursday.
Thursday. Yes, sir.
How do cause like we're Ethiopians, right?
Yes.
And please, listeners, to forgive me if I'm stereotyping, but I just gotta ask. Like, it's hard to mingle with them, man. Like, they're so close knit. If you can't even speak the language, you can't get in that circle. Is that the same thing with Rwandans?
No. Rwandans are open people. They are open people. They are always welcome to just talk to anyone.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
Once that alcohol's on the table, there's good music, and you fun to vibe with,
people gonna vibe.
That's it. That's all you need.
Comes down to that.
That's all you need.
I have an Ethiopian friend. I caught him like he was trying to dispel that notion that Reflex was talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, so you trying to tell me like if I was trying to get like get at your sister, your pops is going with it?
Yeah.
Like he tried to explain himself, but he kept on like stuttering. He's like, I'm like, there you go, proving my point.
I know.
Because we had that honest conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I mean, once you hang around them, they tend to loosen up. When I started working at the lounge, I realized they were uptight. But once they see you twice, 3 times, 4 times, they start opening up. They realize, hey, I'm just here to have a good time. That's it.
We was at one other spot, and they was playing like that the East African music. You know what I mean? It was pretty nice. You know what I mean? That real traditional never heard before type. I was like, oh man, I can dig this. Especially when you see the beautiful women too. They shaking their shoulders. I'm like,
they had that one dance and looking like, I'm like, that's
Ethiopians?
Yeah,
man, the one
looks dangerous, man.
Everyone got this other dance, man. It's kind of slow, and then the women dance and they're like doing some like a wave, like that, with a wave, man. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, so
it's pretty dope.
You speaking about really blowing, like I feel like Africa. They don't notice because it's not only about the Afrobeat or whatever. You got artists from East Africa that we listen to, like the Diamond Platinum and what's the guy's name?
Eddie Kenzo.
Eddie Kenzo and
man, there's a lot of them. Radio Weasel. A lot of them.
To some
Jose Chameleon.
Especially
that Valu.
Absolutely.
There's a couple from Rwanda. There's that Barahura. There's that man, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. I have a whole library filled with just stacked with Rwanda's music. So by the way, shout out to Dan Gasasu out there in Houston, Texas. Dan was the person who introduced me to Ganza. It's like, yo, fam, like you gotta meet my dude, son. Like he's out there in DC doing his thing. So definitely shout out to Dan for that.
That's my brother right there. That's my brother. Yeah.
I want to ask Ganza, seeing that like you was in Rwanda, like here we talk about we want people like yourself to move and shake it. It seems like you was really moving and shaking things,
Yes, sir.
He was really in the Rwanda entertainment segment,
Yes, sir.
So what was it like? Why did you leave?
Opportunity. Really, it was the opportunity to learn. It's the opportunity to be able to be out here and see what you've not seen and grow from it. I was passionate about it, but I was also curious, right? I was passionate about it. I thought I had everything on lock, but I also wanted more experience. I was also a curious individual. I was young. I moved here in 2010, and it was I was here to pursue a degree in film, and that's what that brought me out here. But eventually, when I got out here, I realized there was more to learn than what an institution can offer. So currently, what I do, I'm a salesperson. As my actual job, I do sales, and I do lease apartments. I lease apartments, luxury apartments, lease-ups, basically is what I do. And that experience alone, the ability to communicate to someone and sell something was probably something I lacked because we didn't have the platform to do so back home, right? Even though I was good at it, I wanted something to push me. And the concrete jungle right here is what it offered that. Now, if I had to return back home, it's a small country. My connections didn't fade. I'm in touch with whoever is running something, and it would be easier. But secondly, I would actually adapt the work ethic that you're required to have in this country to be able to survive, especially when you have a family, right? That alone, it pushes you to understand ways to make things happen, right? And if I had to go back home, things would actually seem to me, in my eyes, I feel, if I went back to Rwanda, things would be slow. And if I'm fast, if I understand that I gotta be out there and get it, I would be ahead of everybody. So it was at first it was a curious thing. I was just curious. What is America? I've seen it on TV.
Seen all the skyscrapers.
I've heard about all these things. I want to experience it myself. And when I came out here, it beat me. I was homesick. And I thought I had all these things and my name was, I could get anywhere now. Here, nobody gives
a crap about you.
Nobody gives a hell, right? And it hit me. I was at school. I actually got depressed. Wow. I really got depressed because I was still trying to control Six City as I'm here, trying to control what's happening. I wanted to host another event, and also I was going through personal problems.
Speaking of being stuck in the middle, huh?
I know, and it was at that point that I realized that, once my daughter was born and I started getting into meditation a lot. I do meditate a lot. I at least do a 2-hour meditation every morning before I go to work.
So what time you wake up?
I wake up at 4.
What time do you go to bed?
I could go to bed 10, 11. It doesn't matter. All I need is...
So it has to be in the morning. It can't be like when you...
Those are the best hours.
It's the best hour. Personally, waking up at 4 gives me time to do what I want. I do it because I'm a father, first of all. But secondly, I was advised by one of my good friends who was actually in the military. He was a Navy SEAL. And he told me that waking up at 4, it has some effects. And I started it a year after he told me, because I didn't believe him. Waking up at 4? An African waking up at 4?
I wake up at 4 for work then. But I can stay up past 10.
There are books that actually, say, the most successful people in America wake up no later than 5 a.m. Yeah, they wake up for everybody. Absolutely. And I actually tried out for a couple of times, going to bed really early and say 10 p.m. to wake up at 5 a.m. And it was really great. Like, I was able to, be on top of everything, but then I kind of fell back on it, started, doing schoolwork, and it's really hard, man. It's a lifestyle. It's like going to the gym consistently, every single day. It's a lifestyle.
It's really, you have to build, it doesn't just come, you have to constantly do it in order for it to be a part of you. But that's what I do. I just ensure that I have some time. It really gave me some time alone. If I have some time alone, I'm able to do a lot more things. Sure. And at the moment, meditation is the thing. I've been doing it for 7 months now, and I've felt the effects. So I'm able to navigate through life that way, and I feel like if I do make a move home, it's gonna benefit me in the long run. I believe so.
Man. Oof. Like, that's the goal. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Now, that's the goal, though, Like, breaking out of that stuck in the middle mode and, shining. And, like Sir Hans and the AK always saying, the movers and the shakers and the, people that breaking out of that mode. And that's what we're trying to do here. It's like inspire the next man.
Yeah. I feel being here is a preparation. Being here is a...
Still not. Hold on one second.
You're being prepared for something...
Try one more time. No, go ahead, talk. No, try it. Technical difficulties. You
don't spend a lot of money on this money for the time to be working like that way. You can use that one.
Okay. Yes. So, I think being out here, is a preparation for what is to come. You know, Africa is definitely on my mind. That's the motherland.
Yeah,
it's where everything needs to happen. You know,
you was the star, man. Of course you
should see these other stars. You should see these other stars. Yeah. There's some stars back home. You know, there's some stars back in Rwanda. I didn't consider myself one. Really, it came down to really just doing something so passionately that people do admire you for it. You know, and whether it was radio, whether it was dance or music, people did just appreciate that I give it my all.
Yeah.
You know, and I have my parents to thank for that because they did allow me to do so.
Shout out to the parents of Mr. Ganza.
Man, I commend you, man, because you started something in Rwanda where it wasn't traditional.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And you infused, and I'm sure, like you say, a lot of kids follow behind you and stuff like that. It's very hard to do that in Africa.
Oh, yes.
Very hard. Like, even if you think about doing it, like...
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
I mean, right now, what message do you have to, you know, the kids out there who want to be the next, you know, Ganza, who want to be the next dancer, the next cinematographer, the next, you know, artist? What message do you have for them?
Start where you are with whatever you have and just go with it, right? I mean, it start with where you are. You could find all the reasons, you know, as to why you're not doing what you need to be doing to be able to survive. Because really, you can't be living your life like you're on borrowed time, man. Like, this is not borrowed time. I mean, we're here and we're gone the next day. You know, no second is guaranteed. No next second is guaranteed.
Live in the moment.
Absolutely. Live in the moment. Constantly be present. Use what you have. You know, that technology is now allowing us to be able. I can literally shoot something on my phone and it's gonna look better than anyone who's holding a $50,000 camera. You know, it's creativity. Technology is allowing us to do so. So really just. You know, there was a point in time where this was not possible unless you actually had a station, right? This very moment that we're in, right, it was not possible to some extent, like if you look back. But now you have technology on your side. On top of that, you have understanding. And just constantly grow and humble yourself throughout everything, you know, because the journey requires you to just take in everything that comes along your way, whether it's negative or positive. But if you're humble, you can be able to make it through it all. But if you got ego, something is going to push you back. It's going to hold you down.
Most def. So, I mean, you know, we're stuck in the middle. We recommend we recommend everybody, you know, to help us reach out to the next generation, to help us educate the next generation, the next masses, the next people who are ready to shake and move things in the community. You know, I mean, currently those who are doing that, you know, we want them to come on here, you know, to share that experience, to share the start, that wherever they started and where they are right now, you know, where they plan on moving forward, you know, with whatever they're building and stuff like that. You know, it is kind of hard to, you know, tell somebody, you know, to try to contact people to come on. But eventually when you come and you share your experience, you know, like you're giving something to others, you know, that you don't even think you're giving. And it's really inspiring. It's really dope. You know, we started this thing from listening to other people. You know, when we practically listen to the same podcast, and we'll sit and we'll talk about it. He's like, oh man, did you hear what I do say yesterday? What do you think? And then we'll debate about it or whatnot. And that's how we started this too. You know, so it's always about hearing what, you know, some other person start, and, you know, going from what you're thinking and either doing it better or doing it similar to whatever they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how can people reach you, man?
So you can reach me on my Facebook. My Facebook name is Ganza. You can find a page on there. It's just Ganza, and I'm also on Instagram, Ganza _aim higher, and it's you can also find me on Snapchat. I'm on there too, and it's Ganza. Everything is Ganza. I'm on all social media, Twitter Ganza aim higher. So you can find me anywhere, and and YouTube So Africa Entertainment.
Ganza, you still got the moves?
Yes, sir.
Oh, just checking, man.
You got anything to add, Sir Hans?
Ganza, man, it was a pleasure having you on.
Pleasure was all mine, brother.
I think the goal is to move back home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I feel like, hey, we got the future president of Rwanda.
The pressure, man. The pressure.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to email us about any questions, comments, concerns, and for those of you that we've reached out to to come on the pod, please reply emails. Please reply emails. We'll love for you guys to be on that seat right there for us to have valuable discussions and all that stuff. And then for those of you who want to come on to email us, call us. If
you got suggestions,
let us know.
Like
you said, for those that we've emailed about coming on, like, we really feel like you have something to offer, so we want you to come here and express yourself, and you never know who's listening.
Absolutely.
You can inspire the next generation.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be a great thing?
Always.
So anyway, you could find us on social media at SITM Podcast. That's SITM Podcast on every platform: Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud. Am I missing any?
You got it covered, man.
Yeah, and email us at stuckinthemiddle237@gmail.com. stuckinthemiddle237@gmail.com.
Yes.
So guys, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Stuck in the Middle. I'm Sir Hans,
Uncle AK,
and we out.
Yeah.